Well, we turn our attention to Georgia. The Democrat, Michelle Nunn, has taken to putting out campaign ads with her and George H.W. Bush. George W. Bush, our most recent president, President 43, our 43rd. His father, George H.W. Bush, who's known lovingly in Texas politics and beyond as Bush 41, the first of the Bush presidents, who, of course, served from 1989 through January of 1993 when Bill Clinton became our 42nd president. Well, it's sort of odd that Michelle Nunn is going back into the archives and finding pictures of herself with President Bush. And she's using them as a basis upon which the good people of Georgia should cast their vote for her, a Democrat. Well, that became more complicated when President Bush 41, President George H.W. Bush, through his spokesman, Jim McGrath, demanded that she stop doing that. Well, Jim McGrath and famously President Bush don't give many interviews. They don't inject themselves into Senate races. So it was odd that he came out and even made the statement. It's odder still, and a personal favor, because he hates to do this, that Jim McGrath has agreed to be our guest. Jim, glad to have you on, even against your wishes.
No, good to be with you, Michael. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. Tell us exactly what's going on in the Senate race. Democrat Michelle Nunn versus Republican David Perdue. First, to the issue of Michelle Nunn using pictures of herself with your boss, the man for whom you are the spokesman, President Bush.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. When Michelle got into the race, we made it known to her very clearly, and we've been consistent throughout. And until recently, we've been discreet about it. The 41 did not want her to use his photo as part of this political campaign. He's endorsed David Perdue. He very much wants David Perdue to prevail in that election. He wants the Senate to revert to Republican control because he's very concerned about the direction of the company. And so it's pretty straightforward. He asked that the photo not be used, and they've used it repeatedly. And that's what we find so unfortunate and frankly disappointing.
The picture that Michelle Nunn is using, what was that an authorized picture at the time it was taken?
She was heading the Points of Light organization, and that was taken at an event, I believe, in College Station in the fall of 2009. And President Obama came. It's kind of a bipartisan event at College Station up there at Texas A&M, and the theme was service. So they were up there together, and I believe that's the event from which this photo has sprung. And so I guess both photos, the photo of Michelle with 41 and then the photo also that the Perdue campaign is using of Michelle with President Obama, that apparently is giving some heartburn there for reasons you've already talked about.
And you have, and President Bush, you have expressed your absolute demand, as I understand it, as I have read, that she cease and desist using your photograph in some attempt to suggest that President Bush has endorsed her. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, we haven't demanded that she pull the ad down because you tend to ask for things that you can actually get done. And the fact of the matter is she hasn't taken, food out of the mouths of hungry children. What she's done is technically not illegal, but it's a matter of principle for us. The former president made a very clear and polite request, and we tried to be pleasant about it earlier this year when the first incident occurred, but the stakes are too high, and we just don't want Georgian voters to be
misled. Jim, what is President Bush's primary concern with the misuse of his photograph?
Well, he just doesn't want Georgia voters confused as to who he's supporting in this critically important race. I mean, he's endorsed David Perdue. He wants David Perdue to win, and he wants the control of the Senate to revert back to Republican hands because he thinks we've been heading in a very dangerous direction under Harry Reid and company, and he thinks it's time to get the Republicans have earned a chance to get back in there and to try and get America back on a better track.
What has been the Michelle Nunn campaign's response to your requests that she stop?
Well, it's the response. I mean, I'm looking at action. Their response has been to continue to use the photo despite President Bush's wishes, and that's what we just find so objectionable. She used to work for him. I'm told she holds him in high regard. I know she does, and that's what makes this so disappointing. It's a matter of principle for us, whether or not it's a tight Senate race or not. It's a matter of principle, and so that's what the objection is here that we're raising today.
How early in this campaign did President Bush express to the Nunn campaign or to Michelle Nunn herself that he did not want her using his image in her campaign?
His wishes were conveyed to Michelle and to her team, possibly before she even officially declared, but certainly, if not that, shortly after she officially declared, which I believe is going back over a year and a half.
So there is no doubt on her part or on that of her campaign that this is unauthorized and would be considered violating his sincere good wish or his sincere wish.
No, that there's no possible room for misunderstanding, on the Nunn team's part. It's been clearly, we were deliberate, clearly and consistently and repeatedly communicated with them that this was against his wishes. And, we're not trying to make a federal case out of it, but I think they've kind of forced our hand. The stakes are too high. We don't want Georgia voters under some wrong impression that George Bush wants to see Michelle Nunn elected to the Senate. He doesn't. He wants David Perdue very much to be the next senator from the great state of Georgia.
Did you know the first rule of Fight Club is actually listen to more Michael Berry Show? Yep.